All right, so you also want to post about the order of professionals, I believe. Now, it's a very contentious subject around having a money coach or a financial advisor before a health coach, but hear me out. The reason I say you should have a money coach first, and you'll see in my slides in a minute, money that you're wasting, just from a budgeting perspective, or having the wrong investments in your super fund or whatever, there's a never-ending loss from the dollars that you lose. So when you waste $1, that number is continually increasing the longer time goes on. It's never just $1, right? It's never just $1. The opportunity cost of what you could have done with that dollar means that it never ends, that it increases over and over again. You can never get that dollar back. Even if you go and earn another dollar, you can't get that dollar back. That's wasted. Whereas on the health front, realistically speaking, yeah, you can do sort of damage, but there's very, very few scenarios where your health damage can be, irreparable, right? So most times, where your health currently is, another 6 to 12 months, unless you're extremely, extremely on the unhealthy side, it's probably not going to make that much of a difference compared to 6 to 12 months of bad money habits. I'm not saying either one is more important. It's just the numbers equation there, is that the sooner you tie up the money that you're losing, the sooner you're putting a stop on the leakage of money that's a never-ending number that will continue and never be able to get back. And then you can start working on your health. That's why I say that. So I want you to look at these slides on the factual figures behind what every dollar that you waste, what it's worth over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years. And what that real wastage looks like, so you can understand everything that you spend your money on, that's what it's costing you in the future. Is it worthwhile now? So have a look at these slides. All right, so you see those slides, right? And you see those numbers. Now, is that me telling you or showing you to stop spending your money? No, it's not. It's not at all. You only get a certain amount of time on this earth, and you need to enjoy it. What it's telling you is to start making conscious decisions around whatever it is you are spending your money on. Make sure it's worth more to you than what that number is in the future and what that can provide for you later on. Because if you're just blowing, you saw those numbers, $40K a year, which is the most common amount of money we see wasted in a household, usually a 2-person with children household. That's the most common amount of money on average we see wasted per year. And you see how much that's worth just over 5 years. That's not that far down the track. So if you're blowing $40K a year on stuff that you don't really want or need and isn't bringing you happiness, you really need to reconsider that, because that's a huge amount of money. And I know 50 years is a long way, but that's just so you guys know, that's 40 grand in 1 year. If you invested that and then let it compound on itself, that's not saying 40 grand every year. That's saying 40 grand invested once, compounded on itself. That's what the number is. So you multiply those numbers by every year that you've wasted that amount of money, and that's a phenomenal number. It really makes you think about, what are you actually spending your money on, and is it worth those numbers? Because essentially that's what it's costing you. So keep that in mind, and that is why I say psychologist first, because you can't deal with your money if your head's not right. So psychologist is the priority. Get your head right. It's the most important part. Financial advisor second, to make sure you can afford everything else and you don't have this never-ending hole or leakage of money that just you'll never get back. And then once that's, and I'm not saying get your money, get on track for everything and then get a PT. I'm saying get your basics, get your plan started, and then incorporate your health stuff into the plan. It can be done almost simultaneously. I just think it's really important. A lot of people spend a lot of money on health, which means they put that as a priority, and then they never ever get around to being able to afford their money stuff, which means they're forever going to be in the same spot. Yeah, you might be healthy, but what about the rest of your life? What about the lifestyle? What about the money side, which creates that wealth pyramid we talk about? So that's why I say that order. Hopefully that gave you a bit of an insight, and hopefully, you know, it makes you TikTok up there a little bit and you start reconsidering what you're doing, because we don't want to get rich, guys. We want to get wealthy, right? We want to get wealthy. That wealth triangle, the balance between money, lifestyle, and your health, that is what is important. That is how you live the best life you can live. It's time to start thinking about it. It's time to get on top of it. All right, I'm out. Peace out. So on that note, when we talk about people, you guys who say, I'll come see you when I'm ready, what are you really costing yourself by waiting, right? Because that 6 months that you think you're getting yourself in front, or you're trying to get yourself ready, and you're still blowing all that cash, what's that costing in the long run? You know, what are you really costing yourself by waiting and not pulling the trigger and not coming and get professional advice? That's what we're trying to say, right? You might never be ready, and that ends up costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run. So just come have a chat. We'll let you know if we think you're ready or not. You know, like I said, 116 people in the last 16 months, and 54 of them we turned away because they weren't ready. So it's not something new to us. Come book in, have a chat. What can you lose? It's free. What you got to lose? All right, hopefully I see more of you soon.